Castle right now in a feud with the Dudley Boys, or possibly could we be getting New Day versus the Club?
That's an interesting scenario. See, I still think, wow, that's a toughie because it could go with the New Day and Enzo, but like you said, Dudleys seem to be in this big feud with them. So will it go up to SummerSlam? I don't know. What do we have, like 2 pay-per-views in between? So anything's possible.
I think we have Money in the Bank, and if I'm for sure, Battleground maybe the one after that.
Maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that. They haven't really specified. But if you're gonna have the Club against the New Day, you have to have them win over the New Day because you're building these guys up as these big badass guys.
I think it's time
to prisoners.
And I think it's time to move past the Usos now.
Yeah, the Usos, they're old news to me now. They beat them.
Well, just the feud needs to move on.
Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah, the feud is like, it's been over. So it's time to move on to a new team, and I think they should move on to the New Day. Unfortunately, I don't think the Vaudevillains are the team. I don't think they get either a good push, a good pop, or a good heat. They're kind of just there.
I disagree.
Yeah?
I like the Vaudevillains. I just don't think it was time to put the titles around them yet, especially when they were kind of just pushed into that role because of the injury to Enzo Amore.
Okay.
So maybe it's not time for the Vaudevillains to win yet. I'd actually put Luke Gallows and Anderson over them. If you're going to give it heel tag team championships, it would be to them. Mm-hmm. But they'll eventually, I think they'll win a tag team titles. And what's going on in the possible brand split, you never know. They might create another tag team titles. We never know. So we'll just have to wait and see on that front. In what was probably the match of the night. Actually, no, it was the match of the night, and quite possibly could be the match of the year. And I'm not just saying that because we were there. This has been thought out with a lot of people already. Mm-hmm. The Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship. The Miz taking on Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Cesaro. And as I said a couple weeks ago, that Miz Kool-Aid that I was drinking was victorious.
He's been drinking a big gulp of Miz Kool-Aid.
I am on the Miz bandwagon right now. I love him and Maurice together. I love the heel factor. I love the sneaky factor. You saw how much I jumped. I'm not even a great Miz fan. I love Kevin Owens. I love Cesaro and Sami Zayn more than them. And I was so excited because my prediction was right. That Miz Kool-Aid that I drank was correct.
But that whole match, though, everybody was getting on the edge of their seats when Sami Zayn would get a 1-2 count, and then Kevin Owens would go running into the ring and get a 1-2 count, and then Cesaro you thought was going to win, and then you get the 1-2, and then just a split second more, and then everybody's going nuts.
And yeah, from the little pop-up powerbomb between Sami Zayn and Cesaro to the frog splash off the top rope from Kevin Owens while The Miz is still hanging in the air.
Yep.
I mean, this match had it all. And then to see The Miz, after all that's said and done, after all these guys have been beaten up, The Miz sneaks in for the 1-2-3.
Yep.
That is probably the best writing I've seen done. The best kind of match. How it was laid out, how all the characters are in the ring, how they were all taken. That it could be the highlight of The Miz's career. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, it's better than anything he's done with the title reign.
I would agree. And like I said last week when we were making our predictions, didn't I say I didn't think Kevin Owens was going to win this match? And then he wasn't going to win, and he was going to move on to bigger and better things. And then what happened that night on Raw? He beat...
Not yet. Not yet.
I
know where you're going with it, but not yet, sir. Any other thoughts on that match?
It was just great. I give it A+ all around. I mean, between all who participated in the match, with all the spots, all the pops, all the only boo that really got was the Miz, but he played it perfectly.
He's supposed to get booed. He's the villain.
He's
supposed to be the sneaky guy,
and he played it well.
Played it off so well,
and it was
Kudos
a great
to
match.
The Miz.
I love the match, not just because I was there. I even went home and I rewatched it the next day. So that was probably, like you said, the match of the night.
And once you go from a match so big like that, you have the crowd going. The next match is always a downer. And sadly enough, it was the Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose cage match, which you even predicted. You said you thought it was going to be a letdown. For most of it,
it was a letdown up to the point when all of a sudden
the thumbtacks
came out.
You mean you weren't excited for Moppy?
No, I wasn't excited for Moppy. I even told you. I made a reference to Perry Saturn when I was sitting next to you.
I mean, how do you bring out Moppy and the person of the entire storyline does not come out, Mitch Jr.? How do you not bring out Mitch Jr.?
I know. I was a little confused on that. And they used every other weapon except for Mitch. They used the kendo stick. They used the fire extinguisher. Straight jacket they tried using. The bull.
So many gimmicks.
So many gimmicks.
But the thumbtacks is what got the crowd going.
Did they use the barbed wire? I don't even remember that. Did he take the barbed wire down? Oh, yeah, they did, because I was asking him, like, what is that? And you're like, I think that's barbed wire. But he didn't use it. Like, he went to go use it, and then I think Jericho kicked him in the midsection.
They definitely, though, played the thumbtacks well because they teased you. They set it up, got the crowd going. They teased you that Jericho was going to fall on it so many times, and then Dean Ambrose was going to fall on it, and it didn't happen. But then when Jericho went for the code breaker and Ambrose caught him and laid him on it, man, kudos to Chris Jericho, who's in his 40s right now.
Yep.
And he took that bump.
That was a big bump.
And the pain you can see from his face, oh my goodness.
And he played it off perfectly also at the end when people, like medics were trying to help him, and he's still playing the heel.
He's like, trying to hit him. Oh. Chris Jericho is one of the best, man. There's nothing more I could say about Chris Jericho. I know he's kind of slowed down, getting older, but he is one of the best heels in the business, one of the best characters in the business. And the match was... it was too long, and that's probably why the fans were losing interest. You heard some boring chants. I don't know if you got to hear it on the TV, but you heard it in the stands. But once those thumbtacks came out, all hell broke loose. The fans got back into it, and Dean Ambrose gets the victory. Hopefully that feud is now... I feel like a lot of feuds ended that night.
Yeah, agree 100%.
So that was a good match as well. We go from there to Charlotte defeating Natalya for the women's title in another schmazzy ending. And that's another one where I'm done with that. Move on. Let's move forward. Dana Brooke came out surprisingly.
Dressed as Ric Flair.
Dressed as Ric Flair to help out. Then Ric Flair came out after the match was over. They celebrated in the ring. Very interesting what happened on Monday Night Raw with Charlotte and the Nature Boy, as Charlotte has now denounced her father.
Well, now you have Dana Brooke.
The lackey?
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you think now she plays the part of kind of...
Arn Anderson?
No. Almost like the bodyguard type. Like, I'm talking like a Diesel, Shawn Michaels type of deal. Like having Charlotte as the champion, and then you have Dana Brooke as like the Diesel character playing the bodyguard, doing all her dirty work, and then the time comes that eventually somebody turns and then set them up for a feud down the road. I'm talking down the road months.
By then, Charlotte will not have the title.
No.
Charlotte will not be the champion by the time any feud with Dana Brooke. I think she's going to be with her for a while. She was with Emma for a while, and Emma got hurt, had to have the surgery. But how over is Charlotte now? How bigger of a heel is she now that she made Ric Flair cry? She sent him home.
She sent him packing.
A lot of it sounded too real life to me.
Yeah, I would agree.
It was very personal. You could see even Charlotte starting to get upset during that promo. As you know, Ric Flair was not around that much when she was younger, so he missed out on that. And Ric Flair, this is I guess the best way you can write him off now Charlotte, and she could go on her own and be her own person.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because for how long can you have him be the manager, have her, as she's put it, ride his coattails? You want to see her basically perform on her own. And plus, Rick is getting up there in age. How many more bumps can he be taking as he's like the manager? So I think it's good to write him off. I think it's good for her personally, because that will just build her up as a bigger heel, like we saw the other night on Raw. And it just will get her over more, because you won't have her relying on Ric Flair cutting promos or him coming down to the ring doing his little strut and all. Now it's all on her. Now she will be the one to get the heat from everybody else and from the fans.
And will we finally get the feud with her and Sasha Banks? We know Sasha's coming back from a concussion.
Well, the only thing I'm worried about is now there's reports indicating that Sasha Banks is injury prone, and now there's talks that Vince McMahon doesn't think that she can. He's putting her in a category with Daniel Bryan now. And when you go
she
in
wasn't
that category,
injury prone when she was in NXT.
No, but unfortunately, concussions, once you get one, then your chances are higher of getting another one. So my thought is, unfortunately, if this happens now, and there's talks about Vince McMahon putting her in the category of Daniel Bryan, does that mean now she'll be overlooked by other wrestlers? Will other females wrestlers be coming in and getting the feud with Charlotte and not Sasha Banks? Maybe you'll have somebody else come in.
I mean, Paige could get another shot at it. She's kind of been in the back burner. Becky Lynch could probably get another turn at it. And what about Bayley?
Unfortunately, with Paige, I feel she has a tendency to speak her mind, and I think that kind of hurts her a bit. And now the fact that there's rumors indicating that she's dating Alberto Del Rio. I think they're just going to do that and throw her on the Divas. What's that Diva show? Total Divas, and maybe make her in the
new
spot.
Bellas?
Yeah, exactly, because she's dating a wrestler, and they're going to turn all their attention on that.
Get away. It could be, but we'll see. It's going to be very interesting when you have questions like this of trying to figure out what's going to happen, what's the next feud. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for the women's division.
Oh yeah,
to have all of these questions on who should be next in line for a title shot. But the only three logical answers I could think of is Paige, Becky Lynch, or Sasha Banks right now. I think it's worth the try. I mean, Sasha was cleared and she did wrestle this last week.
Well, Becky Lynch, they did that feud. I think that's done with. They're not going to jump back into another feud with her and Becky Lynch. Paige, that sort of was done when Charlotte first turned heel, but it lasted, maybe like 2 weeks? And then it was irrelevant. Nothing even happened after that. But
could Carmella come up?
It's possible. It's possible, but are you going to push her automatically right into the main event status or for a title shot?
If you're not going to use any of these girls, you might as well.
But unfortunately, we'll get into it later after the break, but with the whole SmackDown going live now, there's talks with the Divas being on only one show, exclusively to one show. So this might hurt the Divas, the women, now that they're... I keep calling them Divas, but they're not even Divas anymore since they changed.
Melissa will be very angry with you.
It's annoying because they've called them Divas for so long.
Your girlfriend would be very angry. She already got on to me at WrestleMania when I said that.
So the women, I think, unfortunately, this will probably hurt the women more than it will help them, because if you're only on one show, you're only going to be on once a week. It's going to hurt you.
Yeah, but we've talked about the women getting more traction and seeing them wrestle more.
Yeah, but are you going to see them wrestle more? Or are you going to do the same... here's one 5-minute match between Paige and Becky Lynch.
I mean, there's some things that just won't change.
Yeah.
They won't change the concept or the landscape of those things. But we'll just see. Finally, let's wrap up this. Of course, we have to wrap up with the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Roman Reigns as we predicted, as we thought, defeated AJ Styles in a great match. I, for one, did not. I mean, I'm not the biggest of Roman Reigns fans. I did